So here we have it. This is the Puma 210. It's a 210 horsepower tractor when it's not boosting, and when it's boosting it's 238 horsepower. This one is a very basic model. It has no electrical hydraulic switches. It has no front linkage, and it has the power shift gearbox. This is the Case IH multi-controller armrest. So on the controller here we have two colors of buttons. So these orange buttons is for controlling the transmission. These two right here are for driving direction.
And these two right here are for shifting between higher and lower speeds, because this is a power shift tractor, so we still have 18 speeds forward and 6 speeds backwards.
The black ones on the bottom here is for the rear linkage, and this one is for the controlling of one hydraulic connection. On this tractor we don't have any electronic hydraulics, so these buttons are not useful in this tractor.
Okay, so right next to the control handle we have some buttons.
Depth controller for the rear linkage, weight transfer for the rear linkage. We have the rear linkage up and down. We don't use these because we have them over here as well.
Here we have the 4-wheel drive, and here we have the 4-wheel drive auto. When the 4-wheel drive is on auto, the tractor will disengage the 4-wheel drive whenever you turn the wheels. This is to reduce the wear on the tires and to make sure you don't make a mess out of your fields.
We also have the same for the differential lock. So this is continuously engaged, and this one is auto, which means that it disengages whenever you turn the wheels.
We also have some automatic functions for the transmission. This one up here is for use on the road. It chooses a higher range of speeds in which the tractor will automatically choose the perfect gear for the current load of the engine.
It's the same for the plow, it's just a lower range of gears because you don't drive that fast.
When you push this button you're able to see how much wheel spin you're making, but as this tractor only have one speed readout from the wheels because it doesn't have any speed radar, this button doesn't have any function in this tractor.
On the back here we have engine RPM automatics, so you can remember 2 engine speeds. To set these up is pretty simple. You push them and then the engine will go to a certain RPM, and then you can tune this one up and down, and it will just remember it instantly. So if you I can try it out. If I push button number 1, it will light up, and as you can see the engine RPM goes up to 1310. If I push number 2, it goes down to 1060, and if I push number 2 again, it disengages, goes down to 840, 850. I can also use this button right here, the button right here, so I can push engine speed number 1, and when I push this one, it goes to number 2. I'll push it again, number 1, number 2.
So you can use this button to switch between the 2 engine speeds that the engine can remember.
Underneath this cover right here we have some buttons up here. This one is for recording the sequence in the end of the field. This one is for auto playback. This one is for playback. This one is auto PTO. This one I'm not really sure what is. We also don't have the suspended front axle, so this one is not useful as well. This one I don't really know what that is. This one is for if you have the reversible cooling fan. You can push this button and it will reverse the cooling fan and blow the dirt out of the coolers. But none of these buttons really have any function on this tractor because it's such a basic tractor. Down here we have the controls for the rear linkage. We have the suspension of the rear linkage, how much it's able to give whenever you're driving on a bumpy road or something. We also have the lift height adjustment, so here it's adjusted to maximum lift. So when I push lift up, it will go to the maximum height. We also have the lowering speed, which tells you how fast you want the lift to lower. If you're using a very heavy tool, you might want to adjust this one down a little so the tool doesn't smash into the ground. You can turn this one down and it will go slowly down.
This cover right here covers a hole for a button that is used to adjust the armrest backwards and forwards.
But we don't have the electronics on this tractor for this, so instead you're using this little wheel down here that you can turn to adjust the armrest backwards. Here we have the controls for the hydraulics.
These are manual controls, and there are 4 hydraulic connectors on the back of the tractor.
And on the right here we have the PTO controls. This is for controlling the speed of the PTO. So it will go 540E. That means 540 rounds per minute at 1569 engine RPM. And it will go 1000. So that's a regular 1000 RPM on the PTO at 1893 engine revs. To start the PTO, you flip the switch forward like this. Alright, so let's switch on the ignition. Water temperature indicator on the engine, fuel indicator, battery check, park brake is on, engine oil check.
Down here we have the transmission configuration indicator, 7 speed forward, 3rd speed backwards at the moment. We have 18 speeds forward and 6 speeds backwards.
This one is the engine RPM, and this one is the wheel speed, or the tractor speed, kilometers per hour. Down here we have the engine hours, 434.4 engine hours at the moment. We also have PTO speed and the lift height of the rear linkage. It's at 100% right now, which means that it's on its highest position. Up here we have the standard radio. Whenever you buy this tractor, make sure to get another radio, because this one sucks.
Over here we have the work light diagram.
Additional lights on the front here. Well, you need to turn on the lights down here at first to switch them on. Turn this one on, and then you go up here and you can turn them on one by one here. This is the rotary beacon on top, and you have all the others here, so everything is on at the moment, and I can turn them off again. Very simple. So this is the steering wheel. Over here we have the direction switch between reverse and forward. So you push it forward, now it's in forward, and now it's in reverse, but it will stay in this position. And if you push this button, the gearbox goes into a neutral. Over here we have the controls for the window wipers on the rear and on the front. And over here we have the light controls. This is positioning light, and this is full light, and it will activate this alarm whenever you turn it on and the ignition is not on. Over here we have the ignition key, and up here front we have the warning lights activation. So you push this one and it will start flashing all your turn signals. Yeah, one thing I forgot about the multi-control armrest right here is this function. The fact that you can push it back and forwards. This regulates the amount of diesel that is put into the engine, but it's not like the automatic function over here. Over here we have the ability to lock the rear linkage at its current position. If we go around to the other corner of the cabin right here, we find the 12-volt connector, activation button for the air conditioning. We find the heat controller here, and we find the fan controller up here. Cold air, hot air, and that's it. This was my first video here on Teknetium. Hope you'll find it useful. If so, I'll be back with more videos just like it. Thanks for watching.